Hey, Kitty Pies, I'm Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is for the Bold and the Beautiful edition. Today is April the 5th, 2022. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're looking to work from home, check out my work from home videos on the channel as well. All right, guys. So, the Bold and the Beautiful day today. We see Taylor, Ridge, and Thomas are still together, and they're still talking about Steffi and how her life is just so amazing right now, as far as her having her husband, her children. They have a home, they have a family, and they're just saying how much of a doer, a go-getter she is, how much, her life is just so good right now, and they're just so proud of her. And this is the dream that Taylor and Ridge had. He always wanted his children to work in the company. Steffi in the leadership role is in the leadership role. Thomas is a designer, and Rich could not be happier how everything has turned out for them. He also they're just talking about, how they're happy that Steffi has Finn, who loves her and takes care of her, and he treats her so well, and he's the perfect match for her. And he said the only the only downside is his psycho mom, Sheila. That's the only downside to all of this. So they're extremely happy and excited for the future of their children and just their future as a family, because everything is just coming together. While this is going on, we see Sheila is in her hotel room, and she is pretty much breaking down in her hotel room. She's replaying everything that happened about how she killed Finn, how she shot and killed Finn, how she shot and believes she killed Steffi. She's replaying it all. She's replaying what Steffi said, and she said, Steffi just wouldn't listen. And Sheila's she's spiraling. She's looking in the mirror at herself, brushing her hair. She was like, "What have you done? I killed my son. I cannot believe this." So she's just spiraling out of control right now. But I mean, it's all but even with her being so remorseful and guilty, it's not enough for her to say what she did. And to be honest, Finn, if she had called the police, Finn might still be alive, but she did nothing to help them. She actually made it worse by trying to rob them, making it look like a robbery. But so going from there, we go to the actual crime scene, and Deacon discovered Steffi and Finn, and he's called the police, and they've arrived, and he just keeps saying the same thing. Who could have done this? But he tells the police, he said, it looks like a robbery. It looks like somebody tried to rob him or something. But he's just so shocked, and he keeps saying, who could have done this? Like, why would someone do this? And so the EMT and everyone come, and they start working on Steffi and Finn. And he says, "Is she gonna be all right? Is she okay?" He just keeps asking them, and they say Steffi's BP is low, but she's there. She's still there. Finn is gone. There's nothing. I thought, oh well, maybe we're all wrong, and they're gonna save Finn. No, he is gone. Like, Finn has checked out of the show, like, gone. He is no longer on this show, and so it's I can't believe that this is how it get. Like, I was looking at it, and I'm like, this really spiraled. Like, it started with Sheila having Brooke drink alcohol, to Thomas finding out, and to Steffi finding out, and Steffi not being a coward and wanting to do something about it to stop Sheila. And now it's Sheila ended up killing her son, and now she shot her daughter-in-law, and she believes she's dead. So they get them to, they put Steffi and Finn on the gurneys and everything, and they're taking them to the hospital. And Deacon is just like, oh my. So the police questioned Deacon, of course, because he called it in. He was there. He's the only one on the scene. And so they're questioning him, and he was like, I have to tell their family. And they're like, no, but he says, no, Steffi is not looking good. I have to tell her family, because if she doesn't make it, he would just feel bad that he didn't say something. So they told him, yes, but put it on speaker. So he calls Ridge, and Ridge looks down at his phone, and he's like, because they're still all in the office. He's with Taylor and Thomas still, and he was like, "Why is like, look who's calling me Deacon?" And Taylor says, "Go ahead and pick up, because for him to be calling you, it's got to be a reason." So he does. He picks up the phone, and Deacon is just like, Ridge, don't hang up. And, because Ridge is like, what do you want? And he was like, don't hang up. And he was like, there's been a shooting, and it's Steffi. And Bridget is just like, what are you talking about? Because they're sitting there reminiscing, well, not reminiscing, but they're sitting there just so happy about their family, and the future looks so bright. And then you get this phone call out of the blue that says, and he's saying Steffi has been shot, and they're taking her to the hospital. And then he says, Ridge, Finn didn't make it. And Ridge is like floored by this. He's like, what? And Taylor and Thomas can see from his reaction that something bad has happened. So they're like, what's going on? What's going on? So he's like, okay. He was like, because Deacon told him, like, you need to get to that hospital now. Like, you need to get to Steffi. So he was like, all right. And he gets off the phone, and he tells them, Steffi and Finn have been shot. And they were so shocked, and they were like, what? And they hop up out of the chair, because they was all sitting around the desk. They hop up, and they're like, what? And he says, yeah, they're on the way to the hospital. It's not looking good. We got to go. And so they run out to the hospital. And then we see that we see Steffi come into the hospital, and Bridget is the attending physician. And so she's like, oh my gosh. And they were like, you know her? And she was like, yes. And she's like, Steffi, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of you and everything. So they start prepping her for surgery, and well, not surgery, but they start prepping her with fluids, and just trying to get her BP up and everything. So then we see that Thomas, Taylor, and Ridge make it to the hospital, and they're like, we're looking for my daughter Steffi and everything. And so Bridget comes out at that time, and she just tells them she's in critical condition. Right now they're just trying to get her stable so that they can do surgery, like if they have to do surgery on her. But her blood pressure is like, she's not doing well, and they're like, we want to see her. And she was like, she's resting, and we're just trying to get her where she needs to be. And they were like, please, because they don't know what could happen to her, because she just told them she's not doing well. And so they're like, please, can we please see her? And so Bridget says, okay, but only for a few minutes or whatever. Now, first of all, I'm with this storyline because it's pretty good. I'm on a scale of 1 to 10. Today had to be a 10 for me. But I'm like, okay, now if she was really doing this bad, she would be in the ICU, and they could not go in to see her. But we're gonna go. I'm gonna roll with y'all. I'm gonna roll with y'all on this. So they go in to see her, and they're just like, oh my gosh, Steffi. And so Ridge and Thomas just tell her, we're there for you. But then Taylor starts talking to her, because Taylor's been shot by that old crazy Shelia. She shot mother and the daughter. And so she's just telling her, I've been through this. You gotta fight. All you have to do is breathe for us. You gotta fight and just breathe. Just keep breathing, baby. That's all you have to do. And we'll take everything else, but your children need you. And we need you. Your family needs you. So you gotta stay with us and everything. And so that's how it ended with them. And then we see that Shelia is breaking down, y'all. She over there still going. And then she gets a knock on the door, and it was like, it's Deacon. And she was like, Deacon? And so she opens the door, and she turns it on. She is back to being evil Shelia, as far as like, she's not emotional, all that crying. Like, this woman. Okay. So then she's like, oh, Too bad you're too late. You could join me in the shower. But Deacon go over there and he goes to her little, you know how in the hotels they have little jar, like little containers of alcohol. He goes over there and he just downs one. He's like, listen, Sheila, I gotta tell you something. Go ahead and sit down. And she was like, what's going on? Why? And he was like, Sheila, you need to sit down when I tell you this. But she doesn't sit down, and she's just like, what's going on? And he said, there was this shooting, and Finn and Steffi were shot. And she was like, what? Let's go. Like, where are they? In the hospital? Let's go. And he said, Sheila. And she's like, what? And he says, Finn, I'm sorry, he's gone. And she's like, no, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Now, Sheila really was crying, I think, like, because she when he told her, she laid down on the bed and she just started crying. He was like, I'm sorry, Sheila. She's crying. She's not crying for the reason he thinks, because all this is confirmation to her that yes, you really did kill your son. And so she's hurting, but she's hurting for, he's thinking it's the shock. He probably thinking it's the shock and her son is gone, but she's hurting because she did this. She's the one who killed her son. And that was the bold and the beautiful today, guys. I will see you tomorrow for another episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.